My first impressions of the pourover dripper set haven't been the best. There's a lot of grinds that always pass through. The flow rate is very slow, but it is very easy to use. I'll give you that. And shout outs to Mindy Baum for actually telling me that I have to use the shower screen. If I don't, a lot more grinds pass through, and we just don't want to deal with that. So thank you very much for that comment. Now, the good thing is there's a lot we can learn from this dripper. So actually, let's get right into it. So this is the pourover set. It comes in 3 different compartments. There's a shower screen, there's the dripper itself, and then there's the cup. Now, this is not a review video. This is just what I've learned while I'm trying to create my review video. And because it is completely clear, there's a lot that we can derive from visualizing. It's just easier to see how the water flows and how everything kind of connects together. Now, this is the one dripper that I think you have to have a shower screen. I generally hate shower screens because I find that the water being split into, well, in this case, 5 different streams, it already makes it so gentle that it doesn't allow the water to kind of push the grinds through. So I can only imagine something that's better at being a shower screen, like the Gabby Drip Assist or the Hario ones or the Mellow dripper. Those make it so that your water just becomes a full shower and it only hits the top of the grinds. The grinds never really move. They kind of stay compact and unmoving. Therefore, you're always over extracting the top and under extracting the bottom. If something like this has 5 big holes can already mitigate a lot of the pressure, then something with many holes, like 20, 30 holes, like the other drippers, I don't really like those drip assists. So I'm very against them generally. But yeah, anyways, that's just my little spiel of how I hate drip assists. Because it's clear, we can see how the stream and the water and the coffee grinds kind of melt together. I wanted to do 2 different kinds of experiments with you guys to show you something I learned that's very important. Now, the first one I want to do is I'm just going to pour very simply into the dripper, stir it, agitate a little bit, and then watch how the beans sink and then how the flow rate is affected. And then the second one, I actually want to pour a lot faster, do it all like a movement, and then show you guys how a continuous pour, or in this case, because it's such a big dripper and I can't pour very close to it, I'll be continuously stirring. Now, the idea is that when I'm stirring, I'm always going to have this continuous motion similar to how when I pour, there's always a continuous circular motion. And you're going to notice how the flow rate is much faster when there's always less beans at the very bottom. So when the beans are clogging up this particular dripper, you're going to notice that in the first technique, where I don't agitate it very much, it's going to take quite a bit longer to brew out. And then the second one is going to be much faster because you're always moving. But because you're always moving and it's always creating this motion, you're going to have actually a higher extraction just because it's going to be moving. And then also it's going to have a more even extraction because you can see how the top and the bottom grinds always switch places. And so you're always having grinds that are lifting up and down and everything's just sinking at the same rate. So it really does show how pouring one continuous motion, but keeping the movement without clogging can actually help you brew stronger and tastier coffees. Now, as you guys can see, there's a very big difference between the 2 different brews. The first one actually took close to 9 minutes to brew out, and then the second one took only 3 minutes. So aside from that, the motion and keeping the bottom kind of unclogged changes the amount of time. You can also see there's a very big difference in the color. Now the longer brew time, because we let everything settle, you can see that it's a lot more clean, which means to me that a lot of the oils and a lot of the fines are being kept in check by the larger grinds that are clogging the filter up itself. So the fines themselves act as their own filter even during its own brew. Whereas this one, the second brew where I stirred constantly, the stirring constantly is to kind of replicate the idea of a constant stream, always lifting the grinds and never letting anything settle. So in the single pour concept that I've always had, I like to do one big pour and I like to keep the motion moving. So a lot more oils pass through. Now I know that in a paper filter, not as much as this kind of oils pass through because there's a lot of grit left at the very bottom of this, but in theory, right, there's a lot more because there's a lot less clogging going on. There's a lot more that's able to pass out. Now, the argument obviously is because of this, we're going to have a higher flow rate at the earlier time, and that's going to cause me to have an under extraction. But at the same time, with all the movement, there's always going to be a maximum flow rate inside the dripper, especially if I have less water going in. And so we're going to be trying to balance that and learn from how this happened and apply that to the next kinds of coffees. So if you guys have any questions, make sure to leave that in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, thank you very much for watching. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!